Hey everybody, Chris here. How are you doing on a Friday? Are you holding on? Are you holding on? Are you getting shaken out of your shoes? Are you panic selling? Where is this all going? We're going to talk about all of that during this live stream. If you're watching on video replay, because all of my lives become videos, then you weren't here on Friday for the live stream. Either you weren't subscribed, didn't have your notifications on, or we're out doing something fun on a Friday instead of watching the bleeding, the continued bleeding going on in the crypto markets. And stocks too. Stocks kind of took a hit today, except for a few. So we'll talk about the few stocks that did well today and what's going on there. And a few cryptos as well. Actually, we're doing okay. So we'll talk about that. Maybe those are the ones you should be buying, not the ones taking the big dump. Or the big dump is a great buying opportunity for what's to come. So all of that we'll be talking about. And then we'll do an AMA and we'll have fun with that because we always like our Friday AMAs too, right? So we'll be doing all of that as well. Let me drop down here in the corner and look at 0909. See that price 0909? And you see this green circle on Chris's chart? What does that green circle mean? Yeah, Chris was buying as well. I've got I had this limit order set at $8.99 and I moved it up. And I moved it up early this morning. I don't know why I moved it up. I moved it up to 0909 just because I was like, yeah, what if it doesn't really get below 9 cents, right? What if it doesn't get below 9 cents? And so for those that, some of you I hear from that don't believe me whenever I say I bought. So, I mean, there it is right there. So you guys can see that. Here, I'll make it nice and big so you guys can really see it. Right there. There we go, nice and big. my order was filled. Doesn't really, it doesn't really get into focus there. But there it is, 0909, 17,700 Dogecoin for $1,608. So, just to prove to you, because some of you don't believe, I don't know. But anyway, yes, I bought on the dip and added to my stash a little more Doge. I also bought 2 other cryptocurrencies that we'll talk about in a little bit. Because I do have a diversified portfolio, I'm very heavy on Doge already, but there were 2 others. One that I used to own that I had already taken profits of and gotten out of. Now I'm back in, and then another one that I've added. So, yep. Adam, you also moved yours up too from $8.99. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know what made me do that this morning. And look what's happening right now. It looks like we bottomed at like 905, and maybe this is the beginning of a curl up here with Doge. Bitcoin is doing the same thing. Bitcoin actually hit my support line. Exactly hit my support line at 53,250. And what is that support line? We drew this like last month. We drew this last month. This was the line we had drawn, which was back in February for Bitcoin, this was resistance. And once 26th of February, Bitcoin came back up that resistance line and then was messing around up here in the 60s, touched 73, and had a couple dips down. One of them was almost exactly to 53,250 there on 4th of July. You remember that? We were live. I remember I was live the night of 4th of July. That was a lot of pain in the market there. Came back, and then on that Japanese carry trade economy dip, Bitcoin actually went down to 49, but we still had that line already there from back in July. We had drawn that line. It's like, okay, it's retested that number. That's when we drew that line, and we revisited it again today. We revisited it again. So you could almost say it's a triple bottom that we had here. Let me get that back to white. There, that extended wick, and then here today. Could this be a sign, TA-wise, right, for Bitcoin that, okay, we're done, now let's move back up? Possibly. Possibly. For Dogecoin, it's a sad-looking chart. It's a tough-looking chart. We had this big green circle here that was everything that here was a gift. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And we revisited that today in even a better gift today. If you weren't buying, again, on that August 5th Japanese carry trade, big wick down where Doge was in the 8s. Again, didn't get in the 8s yet today. 905 was the low so far today, and hopefully that's it, and we turn around. So that's my view of the charts right now. Let me check in on what you guys are doing in the chat, and then we'll get to the news. And there'll be a bit of Doge in there, but I also want to talk about other things going on in the market. Because I did a video this morning about Dogecoin breaking support. If you guys didn't see that, I got into a lot of detail and charts on Doge and what those support levels were. And Doge was breaking below 9.4 when I was making that video this morning, and then continued to fall. So that was right here. And Doge continued to fall in the afternoon. Again, it was Bitcoin that was dropping more this afternoon. So that's what we have. But could that be the bottom now for the day and maybe we come up from here? So what is going on? Whiskey just bought more Doge. My friends are telling me I'm making a mistake. Hey, to make money, you got to take a little risk, right? You got to take a little chance. Your friends probably are risk averse and might be poor. I don't know. But you're not going to make money by playing it safe all along. You'll do okay, right? And I was doing okay for a long part of my life. I was just doing okay. But in the past few years, I've decided that okay isn't enough for me. So I'm taking a little more risk. Vincent says, I sold Doge a few days ago, was hating myself, now loving. And look at the gift you have now, buying back in at a lower price. I wouldn't recommend swing trading very often, but sometimes it does kind of work out. So, what's up, Jason? If Dogecoin might go into the 8-cent range, I might pull some money out of my IRA, Roth IRA, okay, and transfer it. The return on your Roth, you can't even take it out until I'm in my 60s. Not sure if I'll live that long. Live for today, right? No, not exactly the best strategy, because if you take it out before you reach a certain age, and I don't know what your IRA rules are, you have to pay a penalty on that. So you have to at least overcome whatever your IRA was making in returns by, X number of percentages over that to repay also for that penalty. And then you might have some taxes to pay on whatever you pulled out as well. So you got to add all of that up. I tend to leave my retirement alone. Just let it do what it's doing. It's been doing great. It's been in Vanguard and Russell, just building, continue to contribute to it. My employer matches all of that. I just leave that alone and everything else goes into crypto. And I had a little more to put in. I'm pulling everything, every little bit. The emergency savings I had, I don't have it anymore. I put it all in, the rest of that in today. So my regular bank account is looking a little slim right now, but I just saw this as too good of an opportunity. So I bought a little more. Yes, a nice buying opportunity. Exactly. Ryan, yep, it is Friday. Danny, I didn't think I'd see Doge heading to 7.9. Not yet. Not yet, Danny. Something made me think that 8.9 wasn't going to hit today. So I moved my my limit order up. Actually, I had to cancel it and remake a new one at 9.09. And that's what hit. And I don't know why. That's what I did. So it hit. Yeah, DCA peeps. Brad, my prediction of high 8s from last week is possible. We shall see. We shall see. Definitely not the time to panic sell. Steve thinks it's going sub 7 cents. So we still have a lot of big bears out there. Still have some big bears. Yeah, and Adam also moved from 8.99. I only moved to 9.09 though. Nice and big. That's good, Danny. Maybe we'll buy in a week when I have more funds. Maybe the price will still be down. We still have a week and a half, a little more than a week and a half until the FOMC meeting. We'll touch on that as well. Fed rate decision, all of that. Might be some volatility in the markets, we'll see, but stock market is still rather weak. Pretty much red today, which was pretty tough for the stocks. And that could continue next week. Buying the dips, DCA all day, Mikey. Yep. Yeah, Mars, we're going to cover that tweet from the Dogecoin Foundation. I've got that in my stack to look at. So yeah, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Yeah, it's very confusing and controversial what's going on there. But we will cover that, yes. Us true hodlers know what's on the horizon. Exactly, Brad. Exactly. Yes. Friends who are poor people, or just doing the monthly thing, right? Money in, money out. You never save anything, right? You've got a mortgage, you've got car payments, maybe you can't pay off your entire credit card because you bought too much on credit. So then you've got interest payments on your credit card. And month after month after month, the money you get from your salary just goes out the other door. Month after month after month. And you never get ahead. You never get ahead. Now, you can live a decent life that way. Sure, it's okay. But what if you want that little extra, though, right? You want that little extra. That's where investing with a little risk comes in. Taking a little risk, which I've been doing for this bull market particularly. I mean, I was making money off of swing trading back in 2020. And when I bought Doge in early 2021 for 2 cents, that was kind of extra money that I had made doing stock swing trading. So I wasn't taking anything out of my sort of monthly paycheck in, bills out kind of thing then. But this bull cycle, all in. All in. I'm still a believer in the 4-year cycles, despite whatever other people might be saying. I'm still all in. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Looking to take another position, Doge and Jasmy. Yeah, I got a little Jasmy chart to show you as well. Subway. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Can't be playing that game. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. No one knew back in March that 22 cents was going to be a big, local high for Doge and was just going to bleed out from there. My December price prediction is still intact from last January. January 1st, I made December price prediction, and it is still on the table. Jason, a reminder, everyone hit the like button. Yes, you always got to pay yourself first. Try not to get into debt, though. Try not, especially credit cards. Those are bad, 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 bad. You got to pay that credit card off because you're getting hit 18, 20% on a monthly basis. Plus, you might have a fee on top of that, depending on your credit card. They're not good. You got to pay that off. Even if Dogecoin can do far greater than 20% return, it's like not worth that chance. And then there's a car. So if you've got car payments, I don't know, just it's best to buy what you can afford in a car. cash and not have those payments. So my revolving every month, I pay my credit. I use my credit card a lot. I get points when I use it. So I get a little extra cash for that, but always pay it off in full. And I own my car 100%. So that's two. The third one is the mortgage. And that's the one I'm working on this bull market, is to be mortgage free. So that's the trifecta there. Now there's a bunch of other little bills and things too. Things could always run over if you don't pay them, those kinds of things. Those are kind of givens, but the big three is credit card, car payment, and mortgage. If you can take care of all those, and I put rent in the mortgage, that means actually buying real estate. So you're not paying a big monthly rent, but buying something, real estate, and paying cash for it. Lofty goal. It's a lofty goal, but that's my goal now, is to take care of that third one. That's where I am. Yep, Damien, half of people have no savings at all. It's probably more than half. I think it is. It probably is more than half. They live month to month. And many of them need government assistance too. There's lots of that around. Big tree in the yard is dropping limbs because it's rotting. Tree guy said $2,000. Yeah. I had a tree, I think the last tree was 1,000 for mine. It was a pine. And it was pretty dead. I think it was pretty easy for them to take it down, but it was $1,000. So 2,000, yeah, that must be a big one. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a little crypto profit, right, to use to pay for something like that. Not much profits going on right now. Yeah. Overreacting in the market. A lot of it is overreacting, but also a lot of it is leverage. The market makers are taking a lot of leverage out. If you saw my video this morning, I showed you a $13 million leverage trade that got taken out this morning. A $13 million leverage trade, one trade. Elon Musk will help the USA budget so much with his money knowledge. So the whole Doge thing, right? Department of Government Efficiency. It's not about the USA budget so much as just finding waste in the government, trimming the fat kind of thing. And that's only if Trump wins the presidency. Of course, you got to have that first. And there's only so much the executive branch can actually do. Some things may also require Congress as well. So, yeah. But we saw what Elon did at Twitter. He bought Twitter and he cut, well, what was the percentage? It was like 70 or 80% of the staff or something like that. In the end, ended up getting cut. Still worked. Still worked. Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, how the US government employs so many people in the United States, a huge percentage of the overall jobs in the United States are US government jobs. And if Elon is cutting right and left, some were already being talked about before Elon, like the Department of Education, right? We don't need a national Department of Education. All the states have their own individual departments of education. And the idea is, and would continue to be, because they always do it, each state has its own requirements. I don't know what the national was doing, Department of Education, but do you really need it? That's the question. But if you slash that, when you get rid of the Department of Education, that's a lot of jobs that are lost. What are those people going to do? Where are they going to go? As I showed in my video this morning, all of the new jobs that were created, they're mostly being filled by immigrants. That's right, immigrants. All those new jobs, immigrants. Most people working for the government aren't immigrants. So that would have definitely a huge effect on unemployment and the jobs creation, the job situation. So you fire a bunch of people, right? You let them go because you're getting rid of the whole department. And then you got to continue to pay those people unemployment wages. So it's tough. It's not easy to do. But that's really what, according to what I've heard, what Elon would be involved in. No, Rosiani, you got to go onto my YouTube channel. Got to go onto my YouTube channel. And you go to my videos and you scroll down to January 1st and you watch my 2024 price prediction. You can do that right after the stream. And then you're set. And you have my 2024 yearly price prediction, which is still completely on track. Go and look at the data for savings. You can find various articles on this. No, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. For those of us that have extra money to be able to put in crypto, we're fortunate. We're lucky. We either are in a position where we're not spending a lot, right? So we have some extra to put into crypto. Well, that's mainly it. We're not spending a lot. Have a decent enough job where we've got a wage that's a lot more than our living expenses. So we're able to throw some extra into crypto. I believe it. Not only is crypto bearish, hold the market in the world is down. One day we'll be back. Yep. Markets are down a little bit. And it's not surprising the stock market is pulling back a bit. I mean, the jobs data this morning was fake. There were fake numbers as usual. You'd finally dig into the numbers and you're like, oh yeah, that's why the numbers are what they are. And that's why we saw this morning, the stock market immediately went up and then dumped. So we can look at like the NASDAQ today, for instance. Here's what the NASDAQ did today. I'm still on. It really doesn't even show the morning up. It just shows the down. Let's go to the 5-minute chart here. And even that really doesn't show it too much. But yeah, as soon as it started, it was up and then it just dumped. And then it just dumped. Because that jobs report was just not, once you got into the details of it, not good. So yeah, big dump in NASDAQ, big dump S&P 500, big dump. Except for a few stocks, so we'll talk about in a minute. Let me get through the rest of these messages, chats here, and then we'll get to the rest of the news of the day and some interesting diagrams to look at as well. Waiting for 50K. A lot of people are predicting a revisit of 49 for Bitcoin. I decided to buy today just in case that doesn't happen. And if I don't get quite as many coins because I bought here instead of waiting for a bigger dip, so be it. But I decided to buy today because this pretty significant drop here in a day. And I was like, okay, I'm buying. And I bought a couple others too. One way to bring us up is to have Elon do a celebrity fight. No. Well, Elon overpaid for Twitter. And he said for the price of free speech. I mean, it was initially it was a joke, right? What he offered was just a joke. And then he ended up having to live up to buy that joke. But when it's all said and done, X is going to be worth way much more than he paid for, I think. And it's a place that has free speech. That's right, Proxy. It's a place that has free speech. Of course, Brazil's fighting against it. Well, other countries fighting against it because they don't want their people expressing themselves freely, right? Yeah, and the other reason that a lot of these bureaucrats in Washington and in the country would not like Trump to win the presidency and have someone like Elon poking into the government is all the grift, right? All the grift that's going on. There's so much money being spent that is unaudited. It just flows. It just flows. And it's our taxpayer money. We pay for all of that. Doge below the weekly wedge. This is what I was talking about. Yep, it does look bearish. It looks very bearish, and it continues to look bearish. Eventually, it's going to turn around and stop being bearish. But as it continues to bleed out, it's still bearish. SHIB, same thing. Armando, SHIB also looks bearish. It's coming back down to where I initially bought it at almost. I mean, this was a big dump this morning in SHIB. So it's getting down near 10, which is where I bought it. It's 1264. But you look at just about every crypto, you look and it's not great looking charts. It's just down. I mean, everything's like it. So eventually it's going to turn around and it's going to break out of all of these, downward resistance lines, which I'll show you the SUI one in just a little bit, that it is above and is already looking very positive. But most cryptos, yeah, all the charts, it doesn't matter what you're in crypto, just about, except for a few like Aave and SUI and a couple of others, everything else is just down. So if you didn't sell, take profits like Vincent, and then wait to buy back in lower. Didn't know it was going to go lower, but yep. Doge down year to date. Yeah. No bueno. I agree. Yeah. It'll be interesting what else Elon does. I mean, he's been made well aware of how Google search works and the biases in Google search, Bing as well, and the biases there, which are mostly all pro-liberal, right? Pro-Democrat, what you get, particularly with the ways that it indexes news stories. You search on Google for, Donald Trump, and you get a bunch of Kamala Harris articles. And it's like, I wasn't looking for Kamala. I was looking for Trump, So And someone suggested, Elon, yeah, you should just make your own search engine, and those are the kinds of things that, his wheels start turning and he's like, yeah, maybe I should do that. Do I kick you off? I don't think so, Jeremy. Doge dropping 901. Ouch. We got more liquidations happening. Oh, look at that. A $3 million liquidation on Binance right there. $3 million liquidation just happened for Bitcoin at 53,000. Well, there you go. Bitcoin drops, has that liquidation, and now it's just going to move up. It's going to do that. Grab that $3 million leveraged long on Bitcoin. Yeah, rip, right, Ryan? Yeah, rip. Look at that. 3 million. Oh, it grabbed a $2 million one too. There's $5 million in 2 trades. Just got liquidated. 5 million. Rip. Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, that's what it's about when it's doing this. It's about those liquidations. They play on top of your fear. And if there's some selling, they can accelerate the selling down further and liquidate more high leveraged trades. They will do it. Doge still holding 9 cents. About to go in the 8s, but hasn't yet, Damien. It's still holding on. Yep. What's the next support line? Well, I'll stick with 53,250, and this is just a dip below to grab a leveraged long, and it's coming back up. And Doge still 9 cents. And we're right at those lines. One more hit of the August low, and then we go. Bull run activated. I wish, Hector. I wish that would be the truth, but it's so tough. September, as we showed on the September monthly video, typically not positive returns for the entire month. Now, if in the first 5 days we had all of this down, yeah, what is the Dogecoin monthly return so far in September, percentage-wise? 10%. Doge is down 10%. So if we can recover 5% at least till the end of the month, we would still be in the red, down 5%. Like last year, we ended up down 3%. That would at least get us out of this dip that we're in now. I'd like to see that. Yeah, I'm one of the few that are live in the afternoon. It's Tobbs. So I like this time. It works for me. Sometimes it's dumping at this time. Sometimes it's doing nothing. And sometimes it's ripping up. I mean, it is what it is. But this time works for me. I'm not in competition with a lot of other YouTubers. So subscribe, join the channel, and hang out late afternoon. Could be evening, nighttime where you are. Could be Saturday morning already where you are. Blue Horse, I haven't seen him in the chat, but he's over in Singapore. He joins in when he wakes up, having his morning coffee. So we do that. And although I do talk a lot about Dogecoin, I also talk about other cryptos as well. So if you're not so much interested in Doge, I cover everything else too. And today's going to be less about Doge and more about some other cryptos, because I covered Doge just a few hours ago with my losing support video. So yeah. So hey, you speed watched my price prediction video. Awesome. Should I just hold Dogecoin until Elon implements it into X payments? That's a great question. And that's only a question that you can answer for yourself. This fall, we're going to talk about taking profits and different ways to do it, particularly with Dogecoin. And then you can make a decision on what you think the best way is to do that. But yeah, that's a key thing in 2024 is Doge going to be implemented on X or other by the end of the year or not? Because it certainly changes the price prediction for the end of the year. So yeah. Not never sell. And I don't believe in never selling. And I certainly don't believe in like waiting till Doge is $1 because we did that last cycle, right? 2021, Doge was up at 73 cents and I didn't sell because I thought it was going to $1. And then look what happened. So now if you just believe in Doge and you don't care about taking profits, then maybe you just hold. But this cycle, I'm going to be taking some profit. A little more on the investment side. Although I still believe in Doge and I love Doge and I want to support it all I can, I'm not going to roll through another bear market holding all of my Doge. So, yeah. The only thing in green is my polka starter. Sui is in the green, though. If you have Sui, I've been talking about Sui if you guys were listening. Elon will surprise everyone with a Doge satellite. This guy will never lie and never lose a game. He just doesn't stick to his schedules. That's all, right? It's just he's terrible when it comes to schedules. But things that he says eventually end up coming to be. And he's been very consistent about that. It just takes a little longer than he initially thinks. So, do you think we will lose 3.0 or 3 zeros this bull run? I'm sorry, 3 zeros. No, we're not going to lose 3 zeros in sheep. No. I think we'll be lucky to lose 1 zero in sheep because that will already be over its all-time high from 2021. This 3 zero thing. Yeah, we'll be talking about taking profits later this fall. Right, my target has been 35 cents, and that's what I've shown on my charts from before, as 35 cent being a key line, which is up here in blue. This is my 35 cent line right here. And that is my target for my first profit taking. But again, we'll talk about that more once the price starts going back up, which it's having a real difficult time doing right now because it's below my previous 10-cent support line and has a ways to get back up, to get back there. So yeah, this chart is not looking great for Doge, but it's not looking great for most cryptos, like I said. All right, let me get into all my news stuff I got to cover, okay? And then we'll get into more questions and do AMA as well. So let's get into it. Shall we? Crypto bubbles. We're red. We're red. Doge down 7.4. But what's in the green? Look at this SUI right here. SUI. I've been talking about SUI. I got a chart to show you on SUI in just a little bit. This is why we have diversified portfolios, and we try and find the good projects to invest in. And so it's nice on a big red day when everything's down to have something in the green. It's like, yeah, I got that. I got that. Just like in stocks, GameStop coming back a little today, right? Thanks to Roaring Kitty, right? Roaring Kitty, yes, made an appearance today. We'll talk about that. So GameStop was up, AMC was up. So on an overall pretty much red day in stocks. Some of the Chinese stocks were up today. MyMineable was up today. Crap Chinese stock, but I'm playing the Megal game, so we'll see what happens. Michael Vandepop says, well, indeed, it's a drop to take liquidity, right? A drop to take liquidity. And I just showed that, right? And that's what this is. That's what these big leverage hits were, $5 million. The Binance doesn't want to pay out $5 million plus whatever X leverage was being used on that. Let's say those were 10X bets. That's $50 million that Binance saves by liquidating those longs. So there's that. Michael also says probably a short bounce upwards on Bitcoin before we take liquidity sub 52.5. Well, that's what it just did. Oh, sorry, this was 53. Yeah, this is at 53 now. So Michael's looking at 52.5, so a little bit lower, actually. That's right. More liquidity down at 52.5 he's looking at, this green zone here. And then potentially create bullish divergence and reverse. If not, then 48K is next. But the pain is almost over. So, again, the charts are not looking great. Eventually, Bitcoins want to come back up to this 57K level, 57.4 here, to probably take out more shorts up there at that level. Shorts to be taken up here. Because they're going to want to squeeze out the shorts too. As well up here at 58.2. So we could see Bitcoin go on a bit of a run. Everyone will get all like euphoric, woohoo, look at Bitcoin go, right? And it's really just to take out the shorts and then dump back down in order to take out more of the new longs. So that game is going to continue. Everyone was like, those Bitcoin spot ETFs are going to be awesome. They're going to be awesome. Well, they were back in March. February, March was great. August and September, not so great. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight days of selling, of outflows. I don't know what happened yet today. And BlackRock, this first column, who had been accumulating, actually sold on August 29th and hasn't bought any through yesterday. Zeros. Bitwise bought some on Wednesday. On Tuesday, everyone was selling. Bad day. So that spot ETF not doing so great. I'm being notified. We're getting a little more dumpage here. Down to 52.8. Doge still holding 9 cents, just barely. All right. Sorry, I've got notifications on for leverage. Titan of Crypto says, hey, zoom out. Let's look at some fib levels. For those that do TA, he's looking at fib levels. And he says every time there's a pullback, right, we're hitting a certain fib level, key level. It may be painful to watch, yet on the monthly chart, even if the price dips lower, as long as it closes above this level, just like in the past few months, the bull run is still on, like it or not. We'll reassess if a key level is lost, but we're not there yet. So let's talk about some other cryptos. What's going on? Some people are still very bullish overall with cryptos, and there's none better than the XRP army, right? The poor XRP army. Steph is crypto. XRP is gearing up for the biggest breakout in its price history. Position yourself now and ignore the FUD. Now, you guys know how I feel about XRP. And this chart shows it better than everything else. As since 2017, XRP has gone sideways. Any gains that it made in 2020 into 2021 were actually off the big sell-off from 2017. And so from 2017 to 2024, XRP's basically been a stable coin. Where you know what the price of Dogecoin was in 2017? 0.002, 0.003. Doge just dipped to 8.9. Ouch. All right, guys, Doge is in the 8s. Ouch. Bitcoin hit 52.6, almost 52.5. Almost 52.5. That was Michael Vandepop's target right there. Almost hit it. Not great. But let's go back to XRP. I think it's just amazing that on a day like today, when we're seeing outflows of spot ETFs, we're seeing a lot of selling, market makers pushing the price down, all this negativity, and this guy is talking about some mythical, huge XRP breakout. That's probably not going to happen. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, cold-blooded Schiller says, the majority of coins we see depreciating dramatically in value, whether memes or mid-caps, won't ever end up rallying to all-time highs again. The market is blessing us with lower prices. It's an opportunity to build fresh portfolios with relevant coins while we let the crap evaporate. So this is a great opportunity to reposition your portfolio if you want to. If you've already taken profits earlier in the year and you have some coins that are down, but you're not feeling great about those coins, you can sell them for a loss, even out your profit for the year to limit your tax liability, and get into something you think is going to be a stronger horse in the bull market. Now is a great opportunity to do that. Some of these coins will not exceed their 2021 highs. Or in XRP's case, it's 2017 high, which is still its high from way back when. It's not going to happen. So if you're holding on XRP and you're like, oh, XRP, I can't wait for it to go to $3. Got news for you. Not happening. Not happening. And there are a lot of others that were overvalued in the big alt run-up in 2021 that aren't going to see those numbers again. Cardano is one of them. Cardano probably is not going to reclaim $2 or whatever it was. in 2021. Not going to happen. So you decide. Now, some of you are just all in Doge, was fine, but Doge may not hit 73 cents. That could happen as well. Of course, it's at 9 now, so you can do a 4x and you're up to 35 cents. It's a 4x from here. That's a pretty good return. Now, it's not 100x, right? Like people are dreaming about with memes. It's like, you're not going to get 100x. But that's your call. But Steph also took a look at Jasmy and says, Jasmy currently shaping a descending wedge on the daily chart. Don't sleep on this huge opportunity. The one thing Jasmy did is it already went on a big double run this year. Up to 4 cents, had a sell-off. Again, like most coins, right? Has this descending wedge. So we'll see what happens with Jasmy here. But the one I've been talking about is SUI. And if you've been listening to me for the past few weeks, I've been saying in my portfolio, at the top of the bull market, I'll be out of all of my cryptos except 3. I will always hold some Bitcoin. I will always hold some Doge. And the third is going to be SUI, because I believe SUI is going to be a top 10 coin. And SUI, on a day like today, where everything else is in the red, SUI's in the green. So, just letting you know what I'm doing. Just letting you know what I'm doing. Tesla Model Doge says Doge under 10 cents is a gift. And of course, that's what I've been saying for over a month, as I had my big green circle here, right? That all of this under 10 cents is a gift. That was that big green circle. Anything under here is a gift. And now Tesla Model Doge has said the same thing. Under 10 cents is a gift. So for those wondering if now is a time to buy, I don't know. Something under 9 cents now on this big dip here. I mean, this is when you strike, right? Again, I already bought a couple hours ago. This price now is a little better. So again, it's up to you. I'm not a financial advisor, but I bought on this dip. Now it's dipped a little bit more. So that's up to you. And a reminder, Kevin Cap says, the next leg up on Dogecoin should coincide with the epic macro weekly golden cross that only occurs once every 4 years. The 50-day moving average, the 50-week moving average crossing the 200-week moving average that last time happened right here, right above my head. And that was at the end of 2020. That was at the end of 2020. And look what Dogecoin did. We are getting really close now to that happening again for Dogecoin. Again, just another little sign. Dogecoin leaps from meme to serious crypto contender. We've got that. But part of this is this Dogecoin Foundation thing. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, because I have questions too. The Dogecoin Foundation trail map. So this is new information for most people. There are a few that have understood that Dogecoin had some discussions a few years ago about converting from proof of work to proof of stake. They were only discussions, was never really put out to the Doge community. But once most in the Doge community heard about it, we were like, no, Doge is proof of work. The miners work fine, secure, safe, blockchain, all good. But these in the Dogecoin Foundation still kept showing on their website this proof of stake thing. So here's what the Dogecoin Foundation put out yesterday. The Dogecoin Foundation trail map, how it's going. Step 1, make development accessible, grow developer ecosystem. That's with the Leave Dogecoin, growing dev community, growing ecosystem of FOSS projects businesses accepting Doge. That's 100%. So the devs are done working on that. Step 2, lower the barrier for Dogecoin adoption for business commerce. And work on the 1.7 billion unbanked human beings around the world. So we have GigaWallet payment gateway, we've got the e-commerce plugins, Radio Doge, and now Dogebox is almost complete. So they're at 90%. So I was like, okay, we got that. Step 3, increase Dogecoin throughput to meet global currency scalability expectations. And this is something I've never heard before. Project Sakura, proof of Doge protocol upgrade. 10x block speed, 10x block size, maximum decentralization. And this is where I went, something doesn't sound right here. Because it says proof of Doge, but that would be more like proof of stake. Proof of stake. And so what I did was I replied, and let's see where that was, down here, right here. So I replied, we need more info on step 3, please. 10% complete. What are you doing and where is this going? Transparency would be great. Thanks. That doesn't seem like an unreasonable question back to the Dogecoin Foundation. And they replied. And they said, it's all open source, all information public since day one, publishing on code.dogecoin.org, GitHub, depositories, 2 different areas. And I clicked on all of those, and there's nothing about any Project Secura, proof of Doge, nothing. And I said, maybe I'm missing something, but I can't find anything called Project Secura. And of course, Salty comes in and responds with his fun thing, secret meme, blah, blah, blah. Just having fun with it because he knows that this is ridiculous. I mean, even Sir Doge of the Coin said, cool, interested to see what step 3 involves. Doge Whisper, can you share more details? This Project Secure proof of Doge. Nothing. There's nothing there. I don't know who's driving this. I don't know whether Vitalik is still involved somehow. I don't know what's going on here, but something doesn't feel right to me about this. So just wanted to put that out there. We can talk more about that later. Have a lot more to cover here. Next, stock market, pretty bloody day today in the stock market. And since the first week of September, or it is the first week of September, the S&P 500 has erased $2.2 trillion of market cap, with a lot of it in NVIDIA, as NVIDIA continues to bleed down. But Google, Meta, Amazon, Tesla all took big hits today. Tough trading day. Tough trading day. But we had Roaring Kitty. Remember Roaring Kitty? We talked about Roaring Kitty, remember? Back in June. Remember all that was going on? Roaring Kitty posted this today. So there was this whole thing. The last time we had heard from Roaring Kitty was it sounded like that the GameStop head was also going to get involved with Chewy. And there was that whole Chewy kind of thing going on. And now it looks like they're dumping Chewy. They're not going to pursue that, I guess. That's what this is. But Roaring Kitty posted this picture. Yeah, before that, it was June 27th. And there was that picture of the dog, right? And there was all this stuff going on with that company Chewy. And now Chewy's getting thrown away. But what that led to was GameStop going on a bit of a run today. Let me get back to the chart. So that was published right around noontime, and then GameStop went on a big run from $22 up over $24. There was a big sell-off, was up and down, and now after market it's about $23.72. But for those who have been holding on to GameStop and thinking maybe a time to maybe take some profits or cut some losses on a big run like this, maybe something to consider if you think GameStop is going to be something that might continue to run or not run, depending on how you want to play it. But anyway, that was going on GameStop. GameStop ended up in the green today. AMC also went on a nice run today. So it was kind of a meme stock day today. So we had AMC at the same time go on a big run. And actually right up to closing, AMC almost hit $5, but is trading down after market all the way down to 486. So that's what's kind of going on in stocks. But overall, S&P 500, NASDAQ down. We'll see how that continues next week. FOMC isn't until the week after. So we've got that to follow. And this is, what is the Fed decision going to be? Markets are now predicting a 23% chance of a 50 basis point. So that's going down. It's now more looking like a 25 basis point, which is what I've been saying since April, right? That's exactly what I said in April, that the first Fed rate cut would be in September and it would be 25 basis points. And that is playing out. Is it already priced in? Who knows? But there's always a little volatility though that day. So we'll be watching that. Except I'll be watching it from Florida while I'm on vacation. So I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks. Bitcoin is expected to dump to 40K in September. Somebody's predicting a bigger dump to 40K. Meanwhile, AI crypto is still poised to bloom. And so another one that I bought back into is Fetch. I bought Fetch. Now, I bought it earlier this afternoon at $1.05. That was my target. And that was after it had dipped down to 105 and back up this morning. And I was like, well, if it gets back down there, I'm going to buy. And so I bought. And now it's down to $1.02. But yeah, $1.02 to $1.05. Not that huge of a swing. That's how it goes sometimes. But I'm back into Fetch AI, which is now this big AI. You know, there were two other companies merged with Fetch, or crypto projects merged with Fetch. And the AI, we're going to see a big boom still in this whole AI narrative going forward. And I wanted to get back into Fetch. So I bought back into Fetch because I had been in Fetch before from 2 years ago, and last year took profits on Fetch. And I'm back in Fetch now. So that's what else I bought today. Just because I let you guys know what I'm buying. Meanwhile, What else we got? Fed rate decision, Bitcoin, and that's it. That's it. So are we going to see a pump up? It looks like ETH is coming up to take out some shorts. It just took out $1 million short. Somebody just put $1 million short on ETH down here. And the price just pumped up and took that short out. Degens, total degens. Bitcoin moving back up, now over 53. So it looks like my white line here may actually play out. And Doge is now back up over 9 cents. That might be all it is. They just did one last dip there to take out some more leverage trades. And now we're going to move up. We'll see whether that is the case. All right, let me get caught up in the chat and then we'll do our AMA. ETH below 2K? Doesn't look like it. Looks like it held 2150 here. Yep, 2150. That looks like the local low on ETH. SUI does have big unlocks coming. Yes, Davey, I know that. There are big unlocks coming. It's a longer term play for SUI. I just felt it was good to get in at this price for SUI. Here's the SUI chart for those who haven't seen the SUI chart. So still under $1. So getting SUI at 80 cents, still pretty good. Of course, the sell-off this afternoon has kind of hit SUI a bit more. SUI was doing a nice run up this morning. Tony thinks 6 cents. Tedward just wants 20 cents. Double your money, call it a day. James asks, are we starting a bear market? We don't even know it yet. Liquidity is so low. It's not looking good at all right now. Well, global liquidity is going up. A number of other YouTubers have shown the total global liquidity and done overlays on charts showing that global liquidity is going up. And I had predicted that would continue on the United States side up until the election. And we've seen that every 4 years, which is why October and the first week of November are always really good for stocks and crypto because of that liquidity. So we do have that. Hey, Tony, how are you? If Bitcoin breaks 49K and holds that as resistance, it's over. Yeah, but I'm not done with the overall narrative still. Definitely not done with it. I'm like 2017, 2021. We're not even in 2025 yet, playing out the 4-year cycles. We're not there yet. So this bearish sentiment that there is right now, it's just this little thing here in 2024. We had the same thing in 2020. Look at that. Same thing. Even extended out longer. It started actually in 2019. Same thing. So if it shakes you out, I'm sorry. You could miss out on an epic bull run. Even if it isn't 2017 and it's really just 2021, that's still pretty damn good. I'm not missing out on that potential. I'm not missing out. I'm not going to let a shakeout that seems to be pretty clearly similar to what happened 2019, 2020 that we're experiencing right now. I know it's tough right now because it's happening right now. And there's an uncertainty, right? But the bigger picture, and I always talk about law of diminishing returns. 2017 was huge. 2021 wasn't as much. 2025 might be even less, but still even less could get Bitcoin up and over 100K. And Bitcoin at 100K could be a huge deal. Thank you, Rozyansky. Appreciate it. Trying to keep it real here. Trying to keep it real. You get caught up here. Tony thinks 6 cents is possible. Anything possible in September, but it won't stop the coming bull run. Proxy's got it. Proxy's got it. Lord Trip. The sky is falling. Blood on the streets. And when you see blood on the streets, what do? You buy. You got to have the conviction to buy. Will it go down? It might drop a little lower. We don't know. It could, but the price today is a lot better than it was last week for buying. And for those that were looking for dips to buy more. I wish I had more money to buy more Doge right now at 89, at 089. Yep. Hi, Wei, how are you? I sold some penny stocks today. You have $8,000. Should I buy some at this price? I can't answer that for you, Wei. You gotta make that decision. But 8.9 was a pretty juicy price we had just right there. Not bad to have a little Bitcoin in your portfolio too. Doe Maximus 0.002. Nothing happening with Doge. What are you talking about? Never bad to buy Bitcoin, Ryan says as well. Bitcoin at this price is a no-brainer, Tony says. So look at that. It's following my little white line exactly in the short term. Exactly as predicted. BlackRock. Ride the wave. Don't panic, sell, kids. Yeah, but BlackRock could also suppress huge parabolic gains as well. They're making money no matter what on just fees alone. Yeah, 10% in a day. Ouch. And to get back to where it was, it takes a 20% gain. That's right. Down 10% means it takes 20% of a gain to get back up. Well, in Doge's case, right? That's down 10% right there. That's a 10% drop in Doge. But I do it the other way, and I say, well, from here up, well, it counts it as 10%, but it's really a 20% gain. It's 10% drop, 20% gain to get back. Ouch. ATM's got more money in SHIB. You know, I would not discount SHIB. SHIB has the potential to go on a big run still, this bull market. somewhere along the way, which is why I own some SHIB too. Nowhere near what I own in Doge, but yeah. If you started buying alts 6 months ago, your portfolio is hurting. I was buying most of my alts a year ago. Some of them have come all the way back down to the price I bought at. A few are now below that price, but I'm still up on some of them. Algorand has come all the way back down. Loopring dropped even lower. I still have a few of those, like Optimism dropped a little lower. Arbitrum dropped a little lower. But I'm still up on SHIB, Hedera, Cardano, ETH, and a few others. And you only lose if you sell. I know it's tough though. If you're seeing like negative 20, 30, 40% in any one crypto, you're like, oh. And some of us have that in our portfolios. Is it a bad idea to sell some of the Doge I bought at 9.3 and then use that money to buy Doge now? So that is the swing trading thing, and you always got to be careful about that. 9.3 to 9.0 is not a huge swing. That's not a big swing. When Lambo might retest 7. I don't know. We just barely dipped to 8.9. God, if I had had that 8.9, if I'd kept that 8.9 limit order, that would have hit. I moved it up. Oh well. Still a great price. Sale, KB says. How much is El Salvador profiting these days? There are some, there's some El Salvador Bitcoin. Somebody had a chart showing all of the money they've made. Let's see, exactly 3 years ago today, El Salvador became the first country in history to buy Bitcoin. They now own over 5,000 Bitcoin worth $300 million, and they buy more every day. So that's the total, but there was a chart that showed what was in profit. This is the accumulation, because they buy one every day. That one doesn't show. That's still the balance. Somebody had a chart that showed the profit though. Yeah, I can't find it exactly, but yes, they are in profit. I don't see it quickly, sorry. But you can do a search like that. You've got some FET. I've got some FET too. Back in the FET game, gonna do the AI play for the rest of this bull market and see how it goes. Me no get shaken. Hey, Blue Horse, good morning. Hold the line, guys. Cheers. Enjoying your morning coffee or tea? You haven't told me yet what you drink in the morning. Coffee or tea? Who still has more money? Yes, that's a good one, Tony. If you have some dry powder still sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy more on a dip, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 0. If you're all in, you got a 0. So let's see, the 1s or the 0s. 1 if you have more money sitting on the sidelines. 0 if you're all in. I'm a 0. I just put the rest in today. So I'm a 0. 1 is way. 1 is and 1 isn't. CDM is a 1. Damien is a 1. Tony is, of course, Tony's a 1. Of course you are, Tony. Blue Horse. Can't go wrong with coffee. I know, especially with the red on the screen. But coffee, okay, you're a coffee drinker. Yep. Here is a 00. It looks like the zeros are winning. More zeros. Jason's got a few extra dollars waiting for that dip. Waiting for that dip. Rocky's negative 50% in Doge right now. Ouch. Yeah. JD just bought a little over 12,000 Doge at this price, an absolute gift. That's what I've been saying. And that's also what Tesla Model Doge said. Doge, anything under 10 cents is a gift, which is what I've been saying. 9 cents, even better. Even better. And look at Bitcoin following my white line back up here. Totally predicted. Once you saw that last big liquidation, you're like, okay, we're going to go back up now. And there it is. Yeah, great buy, JD. Great buy. Yeah, Jason's always buying every day. Everybody hit the like button. Thank you, KB, for the reminder. Everybody hit the like button. We will continue to watch the Doge chart, but at AMA time on a Friday, what else is on your mind? What else do you want to talk about? We've been talking about crypto for an hour and a half. We can still talk crypto if you want. That's okay. We can mix that in, but it's a Friday afternoon. I'm chilling with a beer. Hope you all are enjoying yourself as well, despite the red in the market. Again, it's a buying opportunity. I was buying crypto. Many of you have been buying as well today because you think this bull market has a long ways to go. So cheers, everyone. Nero got onto Binance. Did it really? Nero got onto Binance. Oh my God. Oh, that's just, in my book, that's a crime, but Nero. $0.13. Oh, there it is. There's the run. Went from 7 cents, came up to 17 cents. It doubled in price this morning. And then it sold off back down to 13 cents. Wow. Nero. It's not listed as a Binance yet on this. Or they're just getting up to speed today. They don't have the volume yet. Yeah, I don't see them listed here. Maybe it'll be tomorrow when they actually get listed on CoinMarketCap as a Binance exchange. But yeah, that's huge news. Binance launches Nero perpetual contract. Oh, it's only futures. Really? Why would they not have spot? Well, they must have spot too. Well, we'll see. We'll check that. But yeah, that's a big game. Nero. So Nero's now up to number 266 in market cap. 266. Wow. There you go. Get this back into dark mode. We are all poor. No, Lord Drip said, yeah, I'm poor with this dump. Yep. 60 formula. I sold at 10, just bought in back at 09 after a near 9% drop. That's a good swing right there. That's a pretty good swing. I'm not touching Nero. Again, this is one of these memes that you don't know. It's a token, right? You don't know. Is it going to jump up into the top 100 or not? Maybe. Is it going to dump back down from here? Maybe. Maybe you take a small percentage of your portfolio and buy some. I'm not. Do I miss out by doing that? Sure. But I also don't miss out on a huge loss if it just dumps. Like Bull Run was telling me to buy Pepe a year ago, and I was like, I don't know about that. And I missed out on the big run on Pepe. Or Bull Run made a bunch of money on it. Overall, my portfolio is still up. And I mean, even the Kriss Pax DCA portfolio, let me update this. Still over 16,000, still up 44% in 1 year. Not bad. We were double that a few months ago, but still not bad, still up in profit. Again, our Doge, our average Doge price is 6 cents. So we're up 47% still on that Doge. The Jasmy, we're still up 380%. And our Bitcoin is still up 98%. So overall, the portfolio is doing okay, despite the bearish trend that the crypto market has been on. Still in profit. So that's not bad. My personal portfolio is at a bigger percentage gain because I was buying Doge at 2 cents. And Doge is still a majority of my portfolio. The people that don't understand market cap are going to think Nero is better than Doge. I know, but Doge has a lower price. Doge is only 9 cents. Nero is 13 cents. It costs you more per token to buy Nero. We should look at that. We should watch the prices. The price of Doge versus the price of Nero. Just on a price level, regardless of market cap. And we'll watch what happens. We might see it at 8 cents. Well, Doge just touched 8.9. Nero could drop back down to 8 cents. What is your forecast for the weekend? Wow. This weekend could be tough. Again, we're still September. We just had a big dip today on a Friday. I'm guessing this is going to level out at some level. Maybe Doge in the 9.3s or 9.4s. Maybe Bitcoin will come back up into like the 54s. And then it's probably just going to like go sideways for a bit. That would be my guess. And the volume will be minimal and it'll just kind of dink out sideways. We've seen that before in other weekends after a big dip on a Friday, where it just comes up, recovers a bit, and then it just kind of slowly goes sideways. That's what I think is going to happen. Probably in the 54s for Bitcoin. And like I said, Doge probably 9.3 range, and it'll just kind of die out and go sideways. Do I think Elon will 100% implement Doge into X payments when X payments comes out? So what I think is going to happen here, Roz, is X payments is going to come out and it's going to be fiat only. The Doge community is going to be upset, except for the ones that really understand what's going on. And that'll be a phase 2, or maybe a phase 3, again, depending on whether it's more important for Elon to start working internationally with X payments. So it's not just in the United States, but make it worldwide, and then implement crypto, particularly Doge. So I think it's still going to take some time. Palantir is joining the S&P 500. I wonder what's dropping out. I wonder what's going to drop out. I had heard that Intel might get dropped out of the Dow Jones. I think Intel is in the Dow Jones because of their massive drop and kind of becoming a little bit less significant in the world as NVIDIA has kind of taken over. But so I wonder what's dropping out and replacing what Palantir is going to replace. But good for them. What is the Palantir stock doing? Palantir. Well, they had a bit of a boost. Look at that. In post-market, they're way up here. Look at that. So that news must have come out after market close, because they were just up a little bit today, $30, and now it's up over 32, up 7% after market. Wow. So for those wondering, for stocks, once you join the S&P 500, that means you're automatically guaranteed new stock buys. Anybody who buys into S&P 500 automatically buys your stock. All of those funds that follow the S&P 500 automatically buy your stock. So that's generally good for a stock to join the S&P 500. So that's why Palantir is jumping after market here. Wow. Up 7%. Thanks, KB, for letting me know that. I do not own any Palantir. I own Tesla. Tesla started off good, but then dumped today. That happens. Doge is up to 9.1 now, so it's over my buy price, which was 9.09. So I'm now in the profit on the Doge I just bought. For any of you who bought below 9.09, even if some of you scooped some up while we were live here in the upper 8s, good job. Does that mean it won't drop down lower? Well, we don't know. It could, but right now, again, Bitcoin is following my little white sketch here, exactly what I predicted, because that was just too obvious. As soon as I saw these liquidations here, as soon as I saw those, I was like, yeah, this is turning around. And look at that. It's even taking out some shorts, some new shorts that have just been added. Here's a Bitcoin short. Degens, total degens. Thinking that Bitcoin's just going to continue to drop down, so they open up a short. Instead, the price goes up and that gets liquidated. Charlie, too soon for 2025. Too soon. Too much can happen between now and the end of the year. So I will make my 2025 price prediction video on January 1st, 2025. Roz bought at 9.3, going to stick with that. Be content. That's still a really good price. I mean, you go back to the daily chart and you're like, while Doge was all the way up here, 11 cents and still at 10 cents, buying at 9.3 is a great price. It's a great price. Joe and Kamala. The really funny thing to me is that Kamala seems to be campaigning on this platform of change. And I'm like, wait, aren't you the vice president of the United States? What do you want to change? You want to change something that your administration is already doing? How can you campaign on change then? You can make something happen. You can actually do something now. You don't have to wait if and when you become president. I just think it's kind of funny. Jonesing. Told you it will go down, will still go down. It might. Lower highs, lower lows. Eventually it turns around though, Jonesing. Just because you have lower highs and lower lows doesn't mean that continues forever. Eventually it turns around. Unless it's just a shit coin that goes to zero. Doge is not that. Eventually it turns around and it goes back up. This is September, Jones. Q4 will be friendlier. That's what I've been looking at too. Tedward, I couldn't resist, bought more. Awesome. Way to go. And you got it at a damn good price. I say that. You got it at a great price. Low nines or even upper eights if you're able to snag something just below 9 cents. That's awesome. Awesome. Doge needs to close over 9.7. It might not make it to 9.7 today, Rocky. Tony's voting for Trump to make Bitcoin great again. That will certainly help a lot. That'll help a lot. Fear breeds millionaires. That's right, Zippy. You buy when there's blood in the streets. Absolutely. Kamala tells the people what they want to hear. People vote for that. And all they want is your vote and then back to the agenda. That's certainly what it looks like, isn't it? And she's like flip-flopping positions that she had back in 2020, just because the narrative in 2020 isn't the same now in 2024. Exactly right. I hope the election isn't stolen. Yeah. It's going to be a mess. You guys have heard my take on elections. I think Election Day should be a national holiday. Maybe, tie it in with Veterans Day, which is already a government holiday. Just make it one day, right? On the day that we celebrate our veterans, we vote. We vote. And it's just that day. And it's in person. There's no early voting. There's no absentee voting. Everybody go home and vote. It's a holiday, a national holiday. And yes, you need to use your ID to vote, so they can prove that you are the one casting that ballot and you are legally able to cast that ballot. The whole election is done in one day. Polls close at 7. We know the answer by 8 o'clock. It's done. That would be so easy. Done. One vote, one person. Maybe some exceptions for the military, right, who are stationed overseas, right? Maybe there's an electronic way that they could vote. I mean, they're in the military, right? So the military could set up some way for them to electronically vote. So I would do something for that. But everyone else, if you want to vote, go home. It's a national holiday. Everybody has the day off. We celebrate our veterans and we vote. And it's done. And there's none of this stuff in the ballots and dead people voting and all that stuff. It's done. And with today's digital technology, it really wouldn't be that hard to do. That's my take on voting. Hi, Hassan. How are you? Proxy's a veteran. Thank you for your service. Who made the mail-in voting system? I heard it was Pelosi's husband. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I think early voting and mail-in voting are just two huge ways to rig the system, to get around it. No, I should get rid of that. Voting's in November. You vote. We do a holiday. You bought another $1,000 worth of Doge. You got it at a great price. Trump said he'll lower capital gains tax to 15%. Well, then selling crypto will be much more profitable next year if he wins. That sounds pretty good. Trump is kind of the biggest wino in the history of the world. So yeah, when he loses it, it will be a mess. Yeah. If he loses, it's going to be a mess. The markets won't like that if it's a mess. They don't like uncertainty. We need Gen Z to vote for Trump. But the Gen Zers are all about equality, and the whole DEI stuff is still out there. That's going to be pretty tough. Elon responded to Sir Doge of the coin. Was this a recent one, Lord Drip, that just happened? Let me get back. Sir Doge of the coin. With an Elon response. I guess I probably have to go to Elon to see the responses, right? But he responds to so much, it's kind of tough to find his replies. We'll quickly scroll through, see if there's a Sir Doge. Oh, he responded to Bill Lee. Didn't know Bill Lee had a Cybertruck. Huh. Yeah, I don't see a recent Sir Doge of the coin post with an Elon response. This is the only way I know how to find it. Oh, there's a Doge designer one. Oh, but that's about Grok. No, don't see anything recent. Something about Starlink bank accounts being frozen. Yes, we covered that the other day. Yes, we did cover that the other day. Because Sir Doge said that Doge fixes this. And Elon agreed. I forget exactly what Elon's response was, but yeah, it was a response to an Elon repost of someone else about Starlink's bank accounts possibly being frozen in Brazil. And if you're using Dogecoin, you got no bank. Exactly. Gen Z needs a hard knock life lesson. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. The deep state will never allow Trump to be president. Well, elections are one thing, though, where if you get enough overwhelming votes for one over another, there's nothing the deep state can do about it. But Trump needs to win by more than 1% or 2%, or maybe even 5%. He needs to win like by 10% to overcome all the crap that would probably be going on. I don't blame him. Look at all they did. I mean, you would act the same way. The Democrats have their hands in everything. Who do you trust? Yeah, it's a mess. Open up that can of whip ass. The debate is next week. Kamala and Trump next week. And I mean, Kamala's certainly going to be coached, but when you're up there on the stage and you got no notes and no teleprompter, Trump's going to challenge her. We'll see what she says, but there's stuff going to come out of her mouth that's going to be like, what? She's not going to answer questions. She's going to just blah, 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 the same old talking points. Might not be good. Exactly, Michael. Cryptography voting. Exactly. It's all digital. Can be on a blockchain even. Just all out there done. We have the technology to be able to do it, and it solves all the uncertainty. Not all of Gen Z. Yes, Tor. Needles in the haystack. What if October is a bearish month? Well, Dogecoin in the past had in 2020 was down 2.6%. Yes, in 2020, 4 years ago. Four years ago, Doge was down 18% in September and then down 2% in October. But then went up 38% in November, 32% in December, and then 700% in January. So I'm not too worried about October. Yes, that would be 38% in November, 32% in December, and then 700% in January, followed by 26% in February, 11% in March, and then up 540% in April. That was 4 years ago. So I'm not worried about October. Now, if then November was also negative, then I'll start getting worried. Okay? Okay, just looking at what happened, I'm still betting on the 4-year cycles. Look at Bitcoin. Following my little sketch. You guys were here. You saw me draw this. Look at that. Following it perfectly, as predicted. Just in the short term. It was so obvious. As soon as we saw that zip down to capture that leveraged long, and then came up, started to come back up. It's like, yep, that's it. It's going to recover now. So obvious. I should actually be making more money as a trader, but I can't handle the stress. I really can't. So I just buy on the dips and hold, and I do okay. The only way Kamala could win if she cackles enough to disorient Trump. Trump will be pretty strong. He'll be on point. I mean, he was with Biden. Biden would just go ranting on, right? And then Trump would say, I don't even know if he knows what he said. Kamala will have earbuds and somebody will be controlling her. Interesting. Interesting little conspiracy theory there. She'll have something in her ear. Is the world messed up if Kamala becomes president? I mean, we did survive 4 years of Biden. The only thing that I would hope then is that the Republicans would have control of both houses of Congress, and that would keep her in check. If for some reason Kamala won the presidency and the Democrats controlled both houses of Congress, the House and the Senate, then that would be tough. That would be really tough. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, Francisco. We don't talk about that here. It's only you make the decision now, looking forward. What are you going to do now about it? Instead of thinking in the past that you should have sold. You can learn from it, go forward, maybe next time. But you can't have that mindset of, I should have sold at 20 cents. It's your money, see profit, take profit. As Rob from Digital Asset News says, there's nothing wrong with taking profits, right? But if you take them too early and you miss out on a bigger run that may come, don't say shoulda, woulda, coulda. You take your profit, you made the decision, live with it, and always look forward. Okay, here's the information I have now. Here's where the price is now. Now what am I going to do? That's the mindset. Today, I was buying. I bought Fetch and I bought Doge. I was buying today. I wasn't selling anything. Buying. Draw some more upwards. Well, again, once it gets up here, then I don't know, right? I got up to here to 53.8. And it's like, yeah, that's about as far as I could go in that short a term, right? Again, that was an hour ago I drew that. Maybe if I had instead drawn that, right? Should have done that. And then it would have gone up. Yeah. Until the 4-year cycle fails, it's ridiculous to bet against it. Exactly my point, Proxy. It's exactly my point. Yep. The cartels will take over America. I know, you see what's happening in Colorado with those Venezuelan gangs, like taking over like apartment complexes. Those poor people live in there. I feel sorry for them. Oh, that's a tough situation. You're holding to 0 or back to 33 cents. Either way. So you're taking profits around 35 cents, but still holding until around $1. Yeah. And I'll always be holding some, but 35, 70, 90, right? If Doge is going on a big run like that, I'll take a little off the table at each level, book some profit. Yep. Again, we'll be talking more about that this fall once we get out of this dump. Hopefully it's October when this whole thing is moving back up. Finish my drawing. Yeah. Did I see the news? BNY Mellon CEO, he said crypto will not dethrone the dollar. And crypto is not planning on dethroning the dollar. There was never any intent of crypto dethroning the dollar. So that's a nothing burger, just nothing. That was never the intent. But for some, it does represent financial freedom for those that want to have it. For many around the world who are unbanked, it gives them a chance to actually hold and own their own money. And for some, it's a great way to beat inflation because that dollar is not getting any stronger. It'll just keep inflating down, and your buying power will just continually be less and less and less. Because that's what it does. So right now, for everything that isn't in a retirement account or real estate or retirement plan, I probably have about 98% crypto and 2% cash. And that actually, that 2% was probably about 5% earlier today. And I just put more in the market today because of the big dip to buy some more. Because I believe crypto is going much higher over the next 5 months, at least, or 6 months, right? Let's get through September, October, November, December, January, February, March, maybe even April. Again, we'll see how it's going, but I don't want to miss out. The craziest thing, people who say that the Constitution is racist because it was created by white men back when slavery was a thing and is therefore bad. It's like, come on. At that time, that was accepted. I mean, it was accepted. Looking back on it, 250 years, yeah, it wasn't good. But come on. The beauty about the Constitution is it can be amended and it can change over time based on events and things that are going on, different ways. I mean, that's the beauty of it. What do I think will happen to crypto if rate cuts will induce a recession? Well, Shale, here's the thing about recession, right? The Biden administration already changed the definition of what a recession is. And they also continue to fudge the numbers so that the numbers actually look better than they actually are. So there's not going to be a recession officially. I think we've already been in a recession for the past 6 months. We see it between inflation, how, the price of goods, how much they are, how much our wages haven't kept up with the increase in costs, while at the same time, the GDP numbers have actually slowed down. So the whole economy is slowing down. Other countries have already officially been in whatever they call a recession, but not the United States officially. But I think we're already there. We've been in a recession. And the fake job numbers this morning didn't help the situation, because now we've seen through, we know the government gives us one number, we really know it's something else. And then you dig into the numbers and you start to see, oh, those kinds of jobs. Yeah. You increased jobs for immigrants, but yet decreased for natural born citizens, actually decreased last month. That's not good. The Fed's got to do something. We will see a rate cut in a week and a half. And I think it'll still just be 25 basis points because they got to do something. And it's not going to re-spike inflation. That's not going to happen. Not at this point. I don't think so. Crazy though, right? Crazy. And Bitcoin's like topping out exactly where I thought it would be. Look at that. Almost exactly. That's not bad. The yen carry trade finally starting in full force. So you bought UVXY. All right, Jen, good luck with that. My forecast for ETH. ETH took a beating today. Came down to 2150, now back over 2200. ETH is a tough one. ETH has gone on some big drops. It's a tough one. Is ETH really gonna, I mean, right now, the ETH network is actually kind of fast with low fees right now. And there's all this talk about like node operators and how much it costs to be a node operator. And ETH is like really cheap compared to like Solana, which is really expensive to be a node operator. Again, this is all about a proof of stake cryptocurrency now that ETH now is. I think ETH is probably going to go on a pretty big run and will eclipse its previous all-time high. I can see ETH doing that. It's a big, heavy, it's number 2 largest market cap. So that's a big move for something like ETH, but I can see that happening. But it's not going to like 5x. So I don't think we're going to see $10,000 ETH this cycle. If Bitcoin gets over 100K and there's a lot of enthusiasm in the crypto market, and all of a sudden you got people like buying into these ETH ETFs that never heard of ETH before because crypto is in the news. That could really help. That could really help ETH quite a bit. Right now, it's just been the selling of the grayscale ETF. It was a futures ETF that converted to spot, and there's just been selling, which has really hurt ETH's price. 2150, probably a good entry point for ETH. Many other cryptos are going to outperform ETH, though. I'm not buying any more ETH. Like I said, I bought Fetch, right? And Sui. Those are my recent, and Say. Those are my most recent crypto purchases. And Celestia. I'm on that bandwagon because I believe those cryptos are going to outperform from here. They're going to outperform Bitcoin and ETH. So I'm not buying more Bitcoin and ETH at this point. Doge, yes. Done. Yes, Doge. Bought more Doge today as well. Here's Bitcoin at 53,000. Bitcoin gets to 100K, right? It's a little over a 2x from here. Well, we take Doge at 9, we go a little over 2x, you're at 20 cents. Well, we were just at 20 cents for Doge, right? We were just there. We'll be disappointed with Doge at 20 if that's as high as it goes this cycle. But if Bitcoin hits 100K, that's going to be a huge deal. I think Doge is outperforming Bitcoin from this point through the top of the bull market. So that's why I'm buying more Doge. But that's just me, you know. Yeah, well, that was the rate cuts in the past, though, right? You're already in a recession. Not technically according to how they call recessions, but I think we're already there. So what if 2020 was the last 4-year cycle? Could be, but I'm not betting against it. Not betting against it. If it was, and we end up just flattening out from here, then I don't make as much money this cycle. Not what I had hoped for, planned for. But we got a long ways to go. We got to see this through 2025. And it's hard here in the summer of 2024, end of summer in September. But I mean, look at Doge 2020, right? Same thing. Down 18% in September, and then down 2.5% in October in 2020. But then it took off. So I'm not betting against that. Particularly as we're hearing more and more little hints from Elon. Again, not that it all depends on Elon, but that's, I think, what it'll take this cycle for Doge to really go parabolic. It's going to be an Elon insertion, right? I don't really follow treasury yields, Jen, but again, we don't know the direct correlation between treasury yields and crypto yet. We think crypto is more and more correlating to stocks, but yet overall, the stock market over the past 4 years ended up just continuing to go up while crypto went through its typical 4-year bear market cycle. But in the bull, crypto outperforms the stock market by a lot. But then it pulls back in the bear. So that's what we've been watching. Everything Elon predicts usually comes to fruition, and we see that he definitely still supports Doge in light of his recent tweets. Therefore, we should be optimistic about Doge. Yep, eventually. He's not really good schedules, right? He tells you a date and it's like, okay, Elon, that's your date. We know that's not how it's going to happen though. Always takes longer. But eventually he gets around to it. Doge, 9.14 cents. Hope we can keep this support. That'd be nice. It'd be nice if this dip right here to 8.9 that we just had was the bottom of this cycle, or this, at least this summer, right? Because again, it was lower last summer. Remember, we were buying at 5.88 cents. And then the summer before that, you could have gotten Doge at 4.9 cents. So we're still up above that. There are other altcoins that actually dropped lower than they were last summer or the summer before. Those are the ones that are really having a tough time. But Doge didn't drop back down to 5 cents. So that, to me, that shows pretty good support, even though we had a tough, 9.5% day today, negative. But we didn't go back down to 2023 lows or 2022 lows. So to me, that's pretty promising. And I mean, just because we're showing a nice recovery right now here over the last hour doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold. But as someone asked my prediction for the weekend, again, I think we're going to find these levels here. Bitcoin just over 53.8 now, as I predicted. It's going to find some level, I'm guessing somewhere over 54, and then we're just going to flatten out for like most of Saturday with low volume, not much volatility, not much movement. That's what I expect to happen. Because today was a pretty volatile day. It's my first bull run. I didn't know where to start, so I tried Robinhood. Now I understand they're limited. Should I just ride Robinhood out this bull run, then look elsewhere? I think there are still opportunities to buy other cryptos not available on Robinhood. I use Coinbase. I have a link here if you want to try out Coinbase. Assuming you're in the United States, Charlie. Like that's where I just bought Fetch today, was on Coinbase. I bought here at $1.05. We dipped down a little lower, but I didn't quite get the absolute bottom, but still $1.05 was a lot better than Fetch was earlier in the week. I feel that's a good price, and we're now moving up back up over it. So depending on what other crypto projects, narratives you might be interested in, and if you really believe that there's going to be a run on something, like this is the AI, right? Fetch is in the AI realm, and we think AI is really going to do something big, over the next year, then so I trade on both Robinhood and Coinbase. And I used to use Binance US, but then they stopped the on-ramp and off-ramp direct from a bank. Again, that's just in the United States. So you can't link a bank account to Binance US and upload cash directly in order to trade on their platform. You have to go somewhere else and get some Tether USDT and then transfer that USDT onto Binance US in order to trade on Binance US. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out of that. And whatever I had remaining on Binance US, I just sent over to my wallet. So they're all sitting in my hardware wallet, and I got nothing on Binance US now. I still get emails from them, but it's like, I don't have anything there. So yeah, I use Coinbase. And now, because I like their exchange, the way their platform works. I do more trading on Coinbase than Robinhood. I still have some Doge on Robinhood. I have some SHIB on Robinhood. I have a little Ethereum Classic and Avalanche, I think. But everything else, my trading's on Coinbase, and then I move it to wallets. Just bought $500 of ETH. Yeah, ETH is going to do fine. I just think there's other cryptos that will outperform ETH for the rest of the cycle. But you never know. With those spot ETFs with ETH, if all of a sudden there's a lot of buying of those, ETH's price could skyrocket. That could happen. Just loaded 10K into Kraken. Going to buy more Doge and 0.1 Bitcoin. All right, Wei. Awesome. I'm invested in Shiba and Doge, Charlie says. Very little, but just learning. That's good, Charlie. Yep. Some Shiba and some Doge. Once you get Coinbase and you use Coinbase on a computer, not the app. The app is terrible because you're not really buying from the exchange. You're just buying a price that they're flashing on the mobile app, and it's not really good. They say they're going to update that, but you don't see the bid and the ask prices and all of that, so it's not great. You want to trade on a real exchange then, and you'll see the completely different buying and selling experience from what you have on Robinhood. Crypto market has never experienced a financial crisis like 2008. Yeah, and I don't see this being as bad as 2008. I think this is a milder economic pullback that we're having now. But a lot of different things can happen from here. That's for sure. What makes me afraid of the crypto market is that the stock market has safety mechanisms like circuit breakers. Crypto market doesn't. Yeah, but the crypto market does have market makers, though, particularly for the bigger cryptos. So because of that market making, it's good and bad, right? It's bad in that they're working for the exchanges to wipe out leverage trades, both long and short. So we get a lot of that. And that's what's been a lot of the chop over the summer, is a lot of the positive, big, heavy leverage long trades as each lower low hits. And then they just drop it even lower to take out that leverage. That happens. But for the big cryptos, you're not going to have like a big drop just for the sake of it. I mean, we only see a drop because of some catalyst, right? Which we saw with the Japanese carry trade. We saw with like FTX, Luna. Remember the Luna crash, right? Big hits. But then you get the big gains too in crypto. But you won't give up on Doge. When Elon leads government efficiency efforts, he'll call it Department of Government Efficiency. Yep, that's out there, Doge. Look how well Render is holding. Yeah, I haven't looked at Render for a while, since it became the new Render. I used to hold this when it was RNDR. $4.64. Yeah, not a bad chart. Yeah, not as bad. I mean, you zoom out, right? And you look again back in March, but everything was up huge in March. $13 all the way down to $4. The August dip brought it down to $3.50. Nice run up here in August. That chart looks actually pretty good. Came back down to the same range it had in mid-August, right in the 4s. So yeah, buying this in the if you can get it on a dip in the low 4s, that would be pretty good. Now that that whole migration thing is done. The other one is Matic. Matic has just taken a huge beating. From 24th of August, it was 57 cents and it dropped all the way to 36. A lot of confusion about the migration to the Pol token, down 38%. Wow. And I also learned that the Pol token is going to have this thing called emissions. It's going to be like 2% emissions, which is basically just going to be new token printing. It's going to be split between the foundation and used for, I forget what it said, like marketing and things like that. That means they're selling. So that's not good. Who's the best person on X to follow? I don't, the Doge related analysis, I would say Kev Capital is probably the best. I like Kev Capital, and I look at his charts quite a bit for Doge. So check him out. Doesn't matter what the percentage is, if they start taxing unrealized gains, it's going to do that will never pass. Taxing unrealized gains will never pass. It would kill the stock market. It would absolutely kill it. It's not going to happen. I think it's just a stupid platform to say it's a way to raise additional money, because she doesn't have any other way to pay for everything that she wants to do, giving out more money right and left to everybody. And Congress would have to pass it. Congress isn't going to pass that. Most of the people in Congress are trading stocks, like Nancy Pelosi, right? She's never going to agree to that, because that means her unrealized gains would be taxed. She's not going to agree to that. So I'm not worried. Unrealized gains, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Vision Pulse says 40 cents for December. That would be in between my price predictions. I don't think it's going to hit 40 cents on it by itself, though. It needs a catalyst to get there, and I don't think we're going to have that for Doge, particularly in 2024. So I think we got to wait a little longer, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't watch Vision Pulse, so I don't know. I think he did post on X, though. Something about Doge. Is this him? I don't follow him. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Dogecoin thing he had the other day. History would suggest that the Doge parabolic bull run is the next and final phase. Once we finish this correction, should last from November to March of 2025. But he doesn't call out a particular price by the end of the year in this one. But I do like the chart, though, because it does, again, repeat the 4-year cycles. And I mean, it's playing out very similar to what we've seen the past 2 cycles for Doge. So I do like this for that, but 40 cents, that might have been in one of his videos. I don't watch the videos. I've seen a couple of them, but I don't know if he's actually posted on X. Doge. Not hopium, just data, halving years. No particular price prediction there. Still see large accounts saying Q4 2025 will be the top. Maybe. Yeah, again, he's just talking, everything on X here is a much larger scale, 4-year. But yeah, good stuff. But yeah, it's all 4-year charts he's showing. Yep, still same. Well, there you go. Kev Capital. Do I have him here? At Kev. Yeah, Kev _ capital _ TA. It's that right there. At Kev _ capital _ TA. I like Kev. He's got some good stuff on Doge and has some fun with some other things as well, but good Doge stuff. So try Kev out. Yeah, Vision's big on the 4-year cycle, believes the top will be early 2025. For Doge, it's all going to depend on the catalyst. Like, when is Elon going to do something with Doge? If it's Q1 2025, Doge will pump then. If it's Q2 25, Doge will pump then. So, and no O-face yet, Mio. Not yet. All right, gang. That's what we've got for today. Been a tough week, especially a tough day today. I was buying on the dip. Many of you were as well. Blood in the streets. Not a guarantee that price may not go lower, but it was a good opportunity on a red day to buy some more crypto. I hope you all are well. Have a great weekend. I will be live again Monday, possibly. I do have a possible conflict, and I might come on later Monday night. So watch for that. Again, please make sure you're subscribed. You have your notifications on so that if I'm not on my typical 4 o'clock time on Monday, you'll be notified when I do come on, because it might be like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So watch for that on Monday. Till then, hope you all have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.